Yo guys, what is up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. And right now we are in the Backfire FD RX-7. Build is going along slower than what I really wanted it to be. We've owned the RX-7 for around about 2 years right now. And I think this year we're gonna make a big difference on the RX-7. Let's park up and I'll tell you guys exactly what I have planned for the RX-7, but for now we're going on a little morning cruise. It's Saturday morning. What the fuck? Okay. Well, so right now it's just casual, little bit on the throttle at a time, but if I go to plant my foot on the throttle, it's backfiring and not going anywhere. Okay, that's a little weird. The car's warm, it has fuel in it, oil pressure looks good on the dash, that's for sure. So it drives good under just normal throttle position. There's 2,000, 3,000. Hope it's not an engine issue because I don't want to be ripping the engine out right now. I was actually planning on getting the car resprayed first, but just spits everywhere. That's not even 50% throttle, guys. Doesn't want to go. Okay, let's take it back home. We'll see what's happening. All right, guys. You just saw us take the RX-7 for a drive. It's doing some really weird backfiring sort of stuff. I'm not sure if that's an engine related issue or fuel related issue. I know nothing about rotaries, and you're gonna follow me along the journey to find out what exactly is going wrong with this car. Now, the Supra on the other hand, that's our bread and butter. We know everything to do with the 2JZ, but with rotaries, we're diving into new territory type of thing. I know nothing at all about rotaries, and we're gonna learn today, you and me together. I just went and bought this fuel filter from the spare parts as I was doing that because I really wanted to eliminate the fuel issue. WZ401, it's a really old school Mazda filter. I've actually done this before. I've done this when I purchased the car. So 2 years ago I did this. It was really dirty, the one I took out, and it was actually the wrong one in the car. So the car ran really well for 2 years after I did that. The old fuel that was in the car before I bought it was in the car for 10 years. So after I changed this, I also want to take the fuel pump out and have a look at the filter underneath the fuel pump as well. Make sure that hasn't sucked in rust from the tank and stuff like that too. And then after that, I'm going to look into the injectors as well. But first, let's do this filter. Let's do the in-tank fuel pump filter as well. And then we'll take it for another drive, see if that fixes the issue. Hopefully it does, because this rotary is giving me so many problems, so many issues, and I've never taken it out once and enjoyed it without having a headache in the back of my head. So let's get into that, guys. Now guys, I've already done this once before. If you don't know how to do a fuel filter on an FD RX-7, go check out that video. I'll put a card up here so you guys can see exactly how I did that fuel filter change. But now I'm just going to jump underneath. I'm going to take it all off because it's so hard to get to. It's literally on top of the rear diff. So I'm going to go under there, I'm going to take that off, and then I'm going to show you guys once I take it off, and we'll see how dirty exactly that fuel filter is inside, and we'll compare it to the new one as well. So I'll catch you when I take this off. It's a bit of a mission. Pray for me. One like, one pray. First off, we'll pop the fuel filler cap off and release all the pressure in the tank. Here's where the fuel filter is located, right on top of the diff cradle. There's 2 clamps on each side of the fuel filter. I suggest loosening this clamp on this side before unbolting the 2 bolts which hold the fuel filter into place. And you also need a little extension to access them over the diff cradle to take them off like this. There's one, and there's number 2. Let's go. The fuel coming out seems to be coming out clear, so my guess is this is not the problem, which I'm bummed about, but I'm going to take the fuel filter out completely and we'll make more of a diagnosis once we take it out. It does look a little bit dirty, and it looks like it also has a little bit of water in it, but it's not as dirty as I would have thought. So let's put this fuel filter back in and we'll move on to replacing the fuel pump now.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright guys, so there you saw it. Basically we got a weak fuel pump. So we pumped the fuel into this milk container because I couldn't find the water bottle. And yeah, when I rev it, fuel cuts and it backfires a lot. So thankfully for me, not engine related, it's actually fuel related. If you haven't already followed us up to date with this barn find RX-7 build, I suggest you do. Just click up here, check out the playlist, and yeah, follow us along our journey. We'll be building this car into a beast. I got a lot of plans for this car this year. 2025 is going to be a big year for this car and for me personally. So I'll see you guys when I've got a fuel pump here ready to install with some more future upgrades. And guys, before I go, if you like this t-shirt, hit up our website on Kaizen Street. This is our classic MK4 Supra t-shirt. There's the MK4 right there if you didn't see it in the background, and it's an awesome design, one of our most popular designs on this car. We also got our lucky RX-7 t-shirts as well. I'll link them in the video, so if you want to cop one of those, help us, help support the channel and help support our builds as well. Now let's go online, start ordering some fuel pumps and stuff like that. Let's go. Okay, and after doing some research online, I ended up buying this fuel pump right here. It is a 255 Warbro fuel pump. It fits on the stock fuel pump hanger assembly. All I had to do was chop 2 wires up and then connect them to the original wiring that fits on the fuel pump hanger. Alright guys, we just wired the fuel pump up. I'm going to show you exactly what we did before I put it back in. I ended up getting a 255 because it was close to original as possible, and I didn't want to get a bigger pump because bigger pump means bigger amperage, and that's when you start melting fuel pump wires, etc. So that's not what I wanted to do. So here's the fuel pump in there. We wired it up to the wiring here. As you can see, here's the old fuel pump, which is a Denso unit right there, and this is an old float that I found in a tank. So this must have been changed once before because it's got a new float on it. So yep, that's all wired up, all held in, and I'm gonna drop it in there. I'm gonna give the car a start and see if it cranks. If it does, that's good. If it doesn't, I'm gonna have to sort something out with this because I had to hold it in with a cable tie because this filter just wouldn't fit otherwise. So see how we go. Alright guys, the car starts, runs, I revved it a bit, it sounds very good. I did end up taking the upper intake manifold off so I can do the fuel pressure regulator. Now this rat's nest on top of here is actually ridiculous. Okay, have a look at this. All these hoses, literally, now I know why they call it a rat's nest. They're all so brittle, I don't even want to try to take them off. I've already broken this, I've already broken this, and there's another one under here. I have taken this off once before, and a few of them did break on me. Here's another one that's broken. So right now I'm in two minds. I'm in two minds of attempting to take the rat's nest off, but then I know that I've got to go single turbo, and that means I also need an aftermarket ECU. To be honest with you, I actually wanted to be driving the RX-7 at the end of this video. So should I just put it all back together, fix the hoses that are broken, and just don't worry about the fuel pressure regulator, since we did start it, we did rev it, and the car was fine with that fuel pump that was faulty? Or should I just rip everything apart, go single turbo, put an ECU in it, and leave it the way it is for now? Let me know down in the comments. So there's 4 ports on the front of the intake manifold. This one goes on this hose here. This one is for this one, and this one I just put is in replacement of this one that's broken, as you can see there. And here is the hose that broke off it, and it is very brittle, so I replaced the hose as well with this new hose. So you just got to make sure when replacing these check valves, they've got arrows on them there, and this other one has an arrow there as well, you can see it. You just got to make sure they're going the correct way. You saw us put the new gasket on, you saw us change those check valves. I actually want to start the car and I want to drive the car before we finish this video. If it's still doing what it did at the start of the video, I'm going all out, guys. That's what's going to click it over for me. I'm going to go ECU, havnt ECU, I'm going to go single turbo, and that rat's nest is gone. It's been warmed up for probably around 20 minutes now. Beep in my dash.
Have a listen. Something is beeping. We don't know what it is. Very annoying.
So annoying.
We've got to
Stop beeping.
figure out where the beep's coming from. Old JDM car things. Old JDM car things. Nothing you can do.
Oh, if someone knows what that beeping is, please put it in the comments. Please put it in the comments.
The next day.
Alright guys, it's currently 2 days later from the day I fixed this car. I came back yesterday to take it for a drive again because I was so happy that I fixed it. And it's doing exactly the same thing again. I am just absolutely over it. I've got a smoke tester here. I'm going to smoke test the intake system, and I'm going to see if there's an air leak that's causing it to do that. If there's no leaks in the intake system, I'm going to be doing the spark plugs. I ordered a fresh set of spark plugs as well, and if it's not that, then I don't know what I'm going to do with this car. So let's do a smoke test first, and let's suss out if there's any air leaks in the intake system. Okay, so the system is currently pressurized with the smoke from the smoke tester, and if I show you now where I put the smoke to go straight into the intake manifold, there's no leaks on the intake manifold, no smoke coming out whatsoever. There is a little bit of smoke coming out my airbox. I know my airbox is broken, and I've plugged that hole up with a rag. So now that I know and I'm confident that there's no air leaks on the car, I know it's not an air issue, I know it's not that gasket that we made, I'm going to take the spark plugs off and have a proper look at the spark plugs. I haven't changed the spark plugs ever since I bought the car. That's the first thing I did to them. So let's take the spark plugs off. I've already got some on order. I'm just waiting for them to come in. So in the meantime, we'll take the spark plugs off, have a good look at them. We'll replace them, then we'll take it for another drive, and hopefully that fixes this issue, because I am so over it, guys. Let's go. So here's the 2 spark plugs I've taken off. This one's the bottom one, which is the 7 EQ, as you can see there. And they are really black up the top. So I'm hoping this is the issue. And this one here is a 9 EQ, which is the top. I'll just label them so I know where they go when I take the other ones off. And that's also a bit dirty up there too. So let's swap these out now with the new ones, and let's see if that fixes our problem. Alright guys, moment of truth. Spark plugs are in. Let's start the car and let's see if it does any mishaps. Here we go, here goes nothing. Sounds not bad. I'll pack up all my mess that I've made now, and then we'll take it for a drive. And if this doesn't fix it, then I'm gonna have to figure out something else. Let's go. Doesn't sound good, guys. Definitely doesn't sound like it's spark plugs. No. 2.5 grand is just breaking up. Have a look. Can't even take it out.